The question of why bad things happen to good people does not have a simple answer, but Christianity offers a framework of understanding. The world is fallen, free will plays a role, and God has a greater purpose that transcends human comprehension. Through Jesus' example, the promise of eternal restoration, and God's presence in suffering, Christians can find comfort, strength, and hope. The call is to trust in God, knowing that He is working for ultimate good and will one day make all things right. 1. The reality of a fallen world. The Bible teaches that suffering entered the world through sin. In Genesis 3, Adam and Eve's disobedience brought separation from God, leading to brokenness, pain, and death. This fallen state affects all creation, and even the righteous experience suffering. Romans 5 verse 12. Therefore, just as sin entered the world through one man, and death through sin, and in this way death came to all people, because all sinned. This verse highlights that the suffering we see today is a result of humanity's collective fall from God's original design. The brokenness of creation means that bad things, disease, natural disasters, and hardships affect everyone, regardless of their righteousness. 2. Free will and its consequences. God gave humans free will, a gift that enables love and meaningful relationships with Him. However, this freedom also allows for choices that lead to evil and suffering. Much of the pain in the world comes from human actions, wars, injustice, and neglect. Deuteronomy 30 verse 19. This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. God allows humanity the freedom to choose, and with that freedom comes the potential for harm. Despite this, God's desire is for humanity to choose righteousness and life. 3. God's greater purposes. God's plans are higher than human understanding. Suffering may serve a greater purpose, even when it seems senseless. It can refine faith, develop character, and draw people closer to Him. Romans 8 verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. This assurance does not mean all suffering is good, but that God can bring good out of even the most painful circumstances. James 1 verses 2 to 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Trials are opportunities for growth and spiritual maturity, even if they are difficult to endure. 4. The example of Jesus. Jesus, the sinless Son of God, endured immense suffering and injustice. His life exemplifies that even the most righteous person is not exempt from pain. His suffering brought about redemption and hope for humanity. Isaiah 53 verse 5. But He was pierced for our transgressions, He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on Him, and by His wounds we are healed. Jesus' suffering was not without purpose. It was the means by which humanity was reconciled to God. Hebrews 4 verse 15. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are. Yet He did not sin. Through Jesus, God identifies with human suffering and provides an example of how to endure it with faith and trust. 5. The promise of justice and restoration. Christian hope rests in the promise that suffering is temporary. In eternity, God will bring justice, heal wounds, and restore creation to its intended state. Revelation 21 verse 4. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. This promise assures believers that all suffering will be redeemed in God's perfect time. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. Earthly pain is fleeting compared to the eternal joy that awaits those who trust in God. 6. God's presence in suffering. God does not abandon his people in their pain. Instead, he draws near to the brokenhearted and offers his peace and strength. Psalm 34 verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This verse reminds believers that God's presence is a source of comfort during trials. Isaiah 41 verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. God provides strength and reassurance to those who lean on him. 7. A call to trust. Ultimately, Christians are called to trust in God's goodness, even when his ways are mysterious. Faith involves surrendering the need for immediate answers and trusting that God is working for the best. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Believers are encouraged to rely on God's wisdom rather than their limited perspective. Habakkuk 3 verses 17 to 18. Though the fig tree does not bud and there are no grapes on the vines, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in God my Savior. Even in the absence of immediate relief, faith in God's sovereignty brings joy and hope.